Hi everyone, this is Adam GSC here, and this is going to be a bit more of a channel update rather than any regular video, so this will be heavily unscripted. Unfortunately, this is a very tough situation to be in, given everything that has been going on and everything leading up to this Eurovision season, but I am going to go into a little bit of detail on my views of what has been coming out recently and also everything in relation to it, as well as what is next in terms of Eurovision, both for me personally and for this channel. As you would all know by now, the EBU had a General Assembly meeting on the 4th of December where they would discuss certain concerns and issues that would have been raised by delegation members and broadcasters within the EBU. I say this because back in September, they were originally gonna get all the broadcasters to vote on whether Israel should participate, but a few weeks before the General Assembly, the EBU somehow introduced a selection of new rules, mainly in relation to the voting procedures for the contests. And when the General Assembly meeting came about, the EBU now asked all the delegations to cast a vote on whether they agree with the new rules or not. And if the majority do not agree on the new rules, they can vote on Israel's participation. But since most of the delegations agreed to the new rules, they didn't need to vote on Israel's participation. And yeah, I am not surprised at all with this outcome, but it's still very upsetting that Eurovision has come to this stage so quickly. And in addition to that, the 4 countries who did publicly state that they will withdraw if Israel still participated did eventually withdraw, which were Ireland, the Netherlands, Slovenia, and Spain. I honestly could not be more respectful for all these broadcasters taking a stance and taking a risk and standing in solidarity with the people of Palestine, as Israel cannot stay in a competition with the whole Gaza conflict going on. The past 2 years have been very hard for myself and loads of other people mentally in regards to the ongoing conflict. And even though the whole situation only became mainstream after the October 7th attacks, Israel has been committing genocide on Palestine for nearly 8 decades. Even though Israel did have a bit of a history in Eurovision and have sent a couple of good songs throughout the years, I cannot support them for the thousands of war crimes that the government has been committing, not just in the past 8 decades, but also over the past 2 years alone is just, I don't even know what to say. And even though there are the likes of myself who is unable to fall for Israel's propaganda, there are unfortunately a lot of government bodies and politicians from across the world who tend to fall for their lies, and it's just so upsetting to see that they're not really doing anything for all the Palestinians who have been killed, murdered, suffered, starved. And I know Eurovision are trying to remain as an apolitical body. Israel has been using Eurovision as a political tool to brighten up their image. And if a country is doing that and they're committing genocide on hundreds of thousands of Palestinians, then this goes against the very grain of the whole purpose of Eurovision in the first place. So now I'm going to move on past that subject matter and discuss where I stand with Eurovision now. Firstly, Eurovision has probably had a much bigger impact on my life than literally anything else I can think of. It gave me the opportunity to be more confident in socializing, make new friends, and also travel the world independently as well. As being in the Eurovision community is probably the first sense I've ever felt a certain amount of love with a whole range of people than anything I've experienced before. And in terms of close friends I have now, nearly 99% of them are pretty much people I've met through Eurovision. And of course, I have loads of other friends who aren't really that much of Eurovision fans that I'm still happy to speak to. The Eurovision community would definitely be my kind of people, as they really benefited to let me live a more positive, fun, and overall happier life. And I would love to stay in contact with them, because I would not want to lose them because of what's happening with Eurovision right now. In terms of this season alone, I still feel like I want to approach this Eurovision season, but I won't really be as invested as I was in previous years before. So the way I'm going to go with this Eurovision season is that I'm going to do a little trial one to see how following the Eurovision pre-season would affect me mentally. However, one thing I do know is that I will be completely avoiding the live shows. As I particularly felt like with last year's edition of Eurovision, I immensely enjoyed following the pre-season. And even though I still enjoyed the 2025 shows, thinking about the way the results could have gone last year had a very negative impact on my mental health, and has got me questioning loads of things about my values, my life, and basically my interest in Eurovision. And it's sad to think that, because being autistic, Eurovision has pretty much been my main special interests for the past 6-7 years now. And because of this, I feel like I'm not really ready to let go of my love for Eurovision now. But at the same time, I feel like I do not want to pay attention to Eurovision if the EBU is treating it in a way it is right now. So in a way, I'm still interested in hearing what the songs are like. Like, for example, I'll be going to UMK in February with a bunch of friends, as I've always wanted to go to UMK one of the years. And even if the atmosphere might not be as exciting as it previously would be, I feel like there is no better time to go and see it live than now. Just in case we get to an outcome where Israel apparently does win Eurovision. And in that sense, I will be completely avoiding Eurovision altogether. And as another example, I've listened to all of the ECLL songs that are competing this year, and the selection actually is really good. So if I'm in the right mood, I would be interested to be watching this selection. I know there are some people who are going to be avoiding Eurovision completely, and others that might have different approaches to following the contest, as I have previously mentioned, and that's completely fine. And no matter how everyone wants to go through this Eurovision season, I am very respectful with what you want to do, and hopefully you will respect mine as well. As far as this channel is gonna go, even though I have a few potential ideas of other kinds of content I would like to make, this will depend on my mood, as even if I don't end up making content over the next couple of months, I might post another update when all the songs are eventually confirmed for this year's contest, just to express my experience with any of my viewers who are currently watching this channel right now. And also as confirmation to see if this is how I'm going to approach any future Eurovision seasons going forward. So overall, I am not really ready to say goodbye to following the Eurovision season, as it has become a huge part of my routine over the past couple of years following the contest as a diehard fan. But at the same time, I'm happy to take the risk of not watching the live shows, because I do not want to go through similar results that could have happened this year. And I feel like it would be a good thing for me mentally to take a step back and to showcase my solidarity to those who are currently struggling in the world. To any of my friends who are watching this video, you know who you are. I really hope there are ways we can keep in touch, because you all had made such a huge impact in my life, and I could be more thankful to have you all in my life. I also want to give a huge thanks to everyone who has been following my channel over the past couple of months, as I've sort of started this as a bit of a passion project just to see how things would go, and to not do this for a full year is really devastating. And to those who want to make comments, please keep it respectful, as I do not want any toxicity. And most importantly, to the EBU, you really need to think about your choices. As with every action, there are huge consequences. And because of your actions, as of now, the stakes on whether this contest survives could not be any higher. So yeah, this is pretty much everything I would like to say for now. Thank you very much for sticking around till the end of this video. Hope you all take care, and I'll see you around whenever I next see you around. Bye.